But
Yeah.
what about Jimmy? Where does he stand? What did he look like today?
Jimmy's looked like Jimmy, and he's doing a lot of treatment. So this is a big recovery, recharge day. All of our guys emptied the tank yesterday and put a lot into that physically, emotionally, mentally. We want to recharge and have that kind of effort again tomorrow night.
I know last night was a very emotional moment with Vic. Does it change when you go home, or is it even settle in more when you marinate on the moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, sports, this forum of sports, you feel so many different emotions, and I think that was encapsulated in one night. We felt so, you know, good about the effort that we put forth to be able to win the game. The game was at hand, and then to have a moment like that where it just swings and goes 180 degrees the other direction. And yes, there are injuries. That is a part of this game. We understand that. But, the human side of it, when you see somebody that's overcome so much, he's done it time and time again, and he always does it with an incredible positive spirit and a smile on his face. Even, last night, he was smiling. He's like, we'll find out what it is. Don't get all emotional around me. I must have looked pretty emotional. I don't know, but that's why I admire him, so much and his fortitude. So let's just see what it is, and pray and hope for the best.
If it is something severe, I mean, it's not ironic. Is it just cruel that it came right after he had that burst? It was probably the fastest burst he's had since you guys.
Yeah.
Just a minute or two before.
Yeah, but I think all these times, behind the scenes when no one's watching, I feel like I've had a front row seat at that on all these off days the last 3 years, on weekends when no one is here, but he's on the training table and then working his way to the weight room, and it's usually like a 4 or 5 hour process, and then finishing up with all the post rehab work after working out. It just seemed that was a comfort level, I guess. Like every time I'd walk out of my office on those kind of lonely days, I would always bump into Vic. So I had firsthand sight of him going through this day after day after day, and just showing great fortitude. And it can be really frustrating for a player, when this year and last year he worked his way to be healthy and back in it. But all those times where he was just rehabbing and not available to play, those can be very frustrating times. But you would never see that on his face. He was always with a positive attitude and a smile.
Are you in a space yet where you start thinking about no Tyler, no Vic? What do you do with?
Yeah, I think that's the responsibility. Again, you talk about how I started this, all the different emotions you have. Well, we still have a task at hand, and you have to compartmentalize. We have to get ready, for a big game. We know the importance of tomorrow night and their response. They're, a veteran, experienced championship team, and then we still don't know, whether GA will play or not. So we have to prepare for both teams again. But we have to do whatever's necessary. We have an objective, that we have not accomplished yet.
You guys are, just an 8 seed, obviously one on a 1 seed. A week ago, you were kind of just fighting for the last even kid at this point. Just where confidence level, like a team, that you obviously don't want to rest it.
Yeah, whatever. You have to find ways to win, whether you're confident or not. And this team is capable of doing that. And yeah, we looked really confident last night and had a good performance. The next game may be in the mud where we have to win it, a little bit uglier, and maybe there are certain points of the game where we're not confident. You can still win games, but certainly going through tough things together, I think builds some fortitude for your team.
Caleb took a bump on the shoulder late in the game. Is he doing all right as well?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing treatment. This is a treatment day more than a practice day, as you can see.
And also, just you've been through long playoff runs and you see how the bumps and bruises can start to pile up as you get deeper into the playoffs. Just how important is that mental toughness as you get deeper into the playoffs?
Yeah,
These treatment days.
you have to have a toughness. We have a very committed group, so they're going to do whatever they have to do to get themselves ready. We have a competitive group. This locker room loves to compete, regardless of whatever the narratives are out there. This group loves to take on big challenges and put themselves out there and make themselves vulnerable to competition. And then, we feel that, we've had depth all year. We've had to manage injuries and missed games and all that stuff. So a lot of guys have gotten really valuable experience, and we won't hesitate, to go deeper into the rotation if that's necessary tomorrow.
So from a coaching perspective, a communication perspective, when you're getting the level of shot making that you are, do you almost have to play mental gymnastics to compartmentalize that level of success, or how do you communicate? How do you handle the shots that are going in when you are talking to the team?
Well, our offense has trended in a better way for 2 months now. We just want to get to our strengths more often. Milwaukee would try to take us out of our strengths. There's a discipline, to playing with intentionality offensively, and I think we've been way more purposeful. And again, it always looks better if you make shots, but you can still find ways to win, regardless. The shot profile, I like it. Taking the shots that are available, and they're a very good team. So it's not like you're just going to get exactly what you want all the time. You try to play purposefully, and then if it's not working out perfectly, find a way to overcome it and get the win regardless.
You guys were also racking up deflections like it was like pinball. The score just kept going up with those. What was so?
We're a disruptive team. It takes a great mental, physical, and emotional commitment to that. But we've clearly been at our best when we're active, disruptive defensively. I'm sure they'll have some counters to that, as well.
How much did Caleb's energy kind of change the game a bit when you had your 12 rebounds and just
Yeah.
defensive activity?
Yeah, how many games can you have said that about him this year? That's the kind of X factor that he is. He has this just a burst of energy and effort where you feel him immediately, and he was really good for us as a starter. But I think as a bench guy, it gives that instant change of energy that I think fits very well with that unit.
Eric, they're not all the same, obviously, but Grizzlies, Lakers, you can tell that's a pressure cooker series already. Kings, Warriors, kind of the same thing. Have you seen a real advantage that you guys have been in playoff mode basically since February?
I think the league got what they wanted, and competitors got what they wanted. Those last 8 to 10 weeks of the season, it was really the way it should be. You should be competing every single night, fighting for playoff positioning. You should be thinking about doing whatever you have to do to make yourself available for games, and that there's consequences, to those games. So we've lived in that world, for a while. I think that's helped our team, but that's also in the past. Now it's just about doing whatever we have to do to get prepared for tomorrow night's game.
Once the team goes up 2-1 in the series, everyone knows how important that game for is. The desperation that goes into. Then you throw in it's a 1 seed that's down 2-1. How much are you guys kind of preparing?
We respect the Bucks deeply. We know what they're capable of, and that's with or without GA. You have to respect championship DNA. They have it. They have guys that have been through the battles, been through wars. It's not like they're going to get sick at sea because they're down 2-1. They're just going to focus on doing what they have to do to try to get tomorrow night, and that's what our focus is as well. It's competition, and you got to put yourself out there and do what you have to do. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks.